about money and music, shit, I'm NE. All these guys wanna claim that they on top. They can't be serious. Wanna go against me and you think that I might stop? They can't be serious. Think that I ain't got money and driving that drop top? They can't be serious. I'ma come through looking like cash and you just not. They can't be serious. All these guys wanna claim that they on top. They can't be serious. Wanna go against me and you think that I might stop? They can't be serious. Think that I ain't got money and driving that drop top? They can't be serious. I'ma come through looking like cash and you just not. They can't be serious. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos, and welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table. Yes. We are back here, obviously in our own little bubbles. As you know, we're still in the UK, still on the lockdown, but the show must go on. But before we get into the show, let me introduce the usual fellow guests here. To my left, it is none other than Matthew. Welcome back to the show, Matthew.
Nice to be here again.
Yes. And also down below is none other than Mr. Rhymes. What's up, Mr. Rhymes?
Hey, front and present. That's the one.
Yes, we got a jam-packed show here for you guys. We're going to be talking about Fastlane, which has been and gone this past Sunday. Maybe if everyone's also seen the post Fastlane episode of Raw, we'll try and go and dabble into that as well. Also, we're going to be talking about our personal top 3 worst factions in WWE. And also to wrap it up, we're going to be talking about AEW, and we're just wondering, is AEW becoming the new TNA? By that?
Insult. Mad insult.
But we'll go into that a little bit later. We'll definitely debate on that. That's going to be a very interested in your guys' takes about that. Everyone must be wondering, like, you're an AEW mark. Like, what are you on about? But trust me, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, other than that, without further ado, let's take it to the table. All right.
Hey.
So yeah, Fastlane has been and gone this past Sunday. To wrap it up in a few words, just briefly, what were your thoughts on this filler pay-per-view before the onto the road to WrestleMania, shall we speak?
This one was a how can I put it? Like, I wasn't against this. Okay, I was against the pay-per-view from the get-go because I really did feel like I don't like the whole having two pay-per-views before WrestleMania. Like, I think there was one year when they did Elimination Chamber, but then because of but then I think they just randomly put like Roadblock in there. Remember, it was like a network special. So something like that I can understand, but when to have like a whole, like, you have Elimination Chamber, which is kind of meant to set up your stories, but then now there's still one more blip, because I think that would now mean that Roman Reigns technically defended his belt twice before WrestleMania, right?
Yeah,
because he defended it against Daniel Bryan.
That wasn't really a defense.
No.
Yeah.
So Rumble was against Kevin Owens, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then
Chamber was Daniel Bryan obviously won the Chamber, and then he came down and beat the shit out of him, and then faced him in Fastlane. And Bobby Lashley had the night off.
Right, yeah. But no, was he even champion at Chamber?
No. But I'm talking Fastlane. Fastlane, he had the night off.
Yes. He wasn't even there.
Yeah, he wasn't even there. So yeah, what about you, Matt? What's your just a brief overview of Fastlane?
Underwhelming, but it was. But everything that happened in it was as expected. The only thing that did shock me a little bit was the Fiend's new attire. Oh God!
You mean Ewok / freaking Boogeyman / freaking Yogi?
Oh yeah,
all wrapped in one. That was a hybrid of what the. We're gonna get into that though. Don't worry, we're gonna get into that. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, if I had to do one word, I would agree with Matt. Like, literally underwhelming is like.
I expected nothing from this pay-per-view. It was literally just feeling like it was like Fastlane wasn't even part of last year. Like, it was, I think remember the last Fastlane was what, 2019, and then they scrapped it Super Showdown last year, and then they brought it back. I expected nothing to happen. It's just like I guess a little slight build up for WrestleMania, but nothing came of it. The only thing that was expected, or if anything, the biggest thing that was going to happen was obviously the thing with Bray Wyatt, because I knew that was going to happen for him to set up.
Right. It was like Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss. I did assume it was going to be some kind of cinematic match or some kind of like match with all gimmicks and everything like that. I didn't think it was just going to be a straight up match, or they were going to do something like what Sasha Banks and Reginald did.
Yeah.
But yeah, the same breath, it's like, I mean, it's just kind of writing on the wall for that one. Like, oh, of course the Fiend is going to return.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But of course, yeah. Well, let's quickly run through the matches as obviously we.
Was there even a kickoff show this week?
Yes, there was a kickoff show. Yeah, there was. Yeah. It was Riddle against Mustafa Ali for the United States Championship. And of course, Mustafa Ali was joined by Mace, Reckoning, Slapjack, and T-Bar. Obviously, Riddle defeated Mustafa Ali, and of course, along with that was the demise of Retribution. Obviously, Mustafa Ali was obviously running down everyone. Reckoning left. Then shortly, was it Shane Thorne, aka Slapjack, left the ring. He started cussing out T-Bar and Mace, and they both looked at each other and gave him the double choke slam. And
how do you know their names? It's like alarming.
It gets shoved down our throats almost every Raw. Unfortunately, it just gets just burned into your brain.
But even though like they're on Raw, I still could not tell you who is who. Like I know that like I guess I know who Mustafa Ali is, and I know like Retribution is Mia Yim, but the other ones I'm just kind of like
Retribution is Mia Yim. No, Reckoning is Mia Yim.
So yeah, Reckoning is Mia Yim. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. Like, it's just not. It didn't sink in for me.
No, I get that. It's nothing to write home about. I totally get that. But yeah, that's you got to be professional, but you got to know who's who. But yeah,
I mean, there's one thing that I'm glad about with the demise of Retribution is that Dominic Dijakovic can actually do his thing now.
Hopefully,
right? I'm hoping. No, yeah, I'm hoping that
I think now they're probably going to start facing Mustafa Ali individually. They won't surprise me. Like just having some little beef and then eventually run down the clock. It took them long enough to realize that no one cares about these people. Look at this guy munching on. And then but yeah, I'm happy that they finally took this group behind the shed and shut it between its eyes, and it's done. We don't have to hear about this. Fun fact, I didn't realize that Mia Yim has actually blocked me from Instagram.
Wait, she's what?
She blocked you. What did you do?
Instagram. Yeah.
What did you do?
No, I remember. I think it was during that bit. It was during that episode where her mask fell off, and she did put up a picture. Like obviously, you know what she does. She always puts up a post and does the meaningful captions. And I must have said something like, that didn't stop you from having your mask falling off of your face. And then I didn't realize, and it wasn't until like I was trying to search for her Insta and I couldn't find it. So I went on my other and I was like, oh, it's there. So she definitely blocked me. So I was just like, oh, okay, fine, fair enough.
So you just here just trolling wrestlers. Mind you though,
that's what I'm about to say. You can't say shit. How many people block you?
I mean, why are we making this about me right now? We're talking about you being blocked, not me. This isn't about me right now, okay?
I mean, it wasn't lie that.
Go on.
Because not gonna lie, the only person I've been blocked by is CM Punk, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm blocked by CM Punk as well.
That would be an honor. CM Punk getting blocked by CM Punk. I mean, the highest
I'm blocked by CM Punk. I'm blocked by Kevin Owens.
That's good.
But I'm only blocked by Kevin Owens because he genuinely was like on a thing where it was almost like a trend at one point when he was just blocking people randomly, and I actually tweeted I was like, oh, when is Kevin Owens gonna block me? And then he blocked me, and I was like, oh yeah. So I was like, he saw it, you know what I mean? So he did it, and the thing. So I was like,
you kind of feel like I'm actually acknowledged. I'm me.
Right.
Isn't that he's actually being acknowledged by this WWE superstar? I'm like, fuck yeah, cool. Mia Yim. Okay, so Mia Yim for me. Your one CM Punk. Yours is Vince.
Oh my god! So it
Stone Cold. No, I'm joking. Go
Oh no, my list really is extensive. I'm blocked by Sin Cara, I'm blocked by Zack Ryder, I'm blocked by Caitlyn, I'm blocked by Zelina Vega, even though I'm a fan. I'm blocked by what's it called? I'm blocked by Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. I'm blocked by we just said, who did we just say?
Me and
CM.
No. Who was he talking about before that? Oh, Kevin Owens, I'm blocked by him. Yeah, there's like an extensive list of wrestlers that I'm blocked by. The worst thing is that half of them, I didn't even say anything about them, and yet they're blocked. Actually, no, admittedly, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, I understand why they did that, so it's fine. Like, I accept that. It's fine.
Wow.
I remember for me, I simply quoted a tweet. Like, you know how on Twitter before, it used to be in speech marks before, like when you're quoting a tweet.
Yeah.
And then I added CM Punk, and literally I was gone after that.
Pissed.
You were trolling him, so it was going to happen.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, other than that, besides getting blocked by a WWE superstar, going back to the kickoff match, Riddle defeated Mustafa Ali. I did not watch it. Did you guys watch it?
No. I saw when they replayed it on the show.
Yeah, what?
When they replayed it on the show?
Oh, yeah, you just saw the highlight. Yeah, but you didn't see the match.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see the match. But then I saw it on Raw, because it literally happened the week before Raw. The week before.
Oh, well, then there you go.
Yeah, it was on Raw they had that match, and then it's like, they had it, I forget, at Fastlane, so it just would have been a repeat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I literally tuned into Fastlane the moment Apollo Crews was making his entrance. I literally forgot the timing.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, you didn't really miss much. All right, so going into the main card, the first match was Nia Jax and Shayna Basler versus Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And this match didn't make one lick of sense. I don't know why they keep on pairing these guys, and it's all about Reginald, and it's just making them all look stupid.
It is. It's like, I understand the whole, I guess. Well, I can't really blame Reginald because he's just doing his job, and he's doing a good job at doing his job. But it's like a kind of thing where I'm not quite getting it, because at least with like the China and Eddie Guerrero thing, it was like he kind of wore her down.
Yeah.
Like, you know how he was I think he was trying to kind of break down the barrier. He got nowhere, so he kind of became like an enemy, and that's what at WrestleMania there was like 6-person tag match or whatever, and then she beat him. And then, like, literally, like, the next night on Raw, didn't she, like, decide to side with him now? And she gave him the European belt off of Jericho or something like that. So, like, you know, it's like she eventually, it kind of made sense that she got worn down. Whereas I thought that's what they were potentially going to do with Reginald and Sasha Banks. But it's kind of not going in that direction. Now he's with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And now it's going to seem like that thing where it's like Shayna Baszler has to warm up to him. And it doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense. And then
he's going through too many women.
They don't know what Sasha Banks is. At first she's a face, and all of a sudden she's like slapping Reginald and leaving Bianca Belair for a tag match. They're like, no one knows what the role is. It just makes them all look stupid. The first tag match that they had previously, which made them look absolutely dumb, and then this one just makes them even look dumber. So I just really, the writing was on the wall for this one. I couldn't care less for this match.
Right. And didn't Sasha Banks lose both of them?
Yes, basically, yeah.
I mean, in that case, then Bellaire is still the strong one, so she's not the one technically losing the matches. However, it's like the champion keeps being pinned, and then it's just like, meh.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt Sasha Banks, but then it's just like it just kind of seems a bit. Like, I honestly thought that they were going to end up doing the Shawn Michaels, John Cena storyline going into Mania, like they're both tag team champions, but then whatever. But I was really not hoping for
that. We just had a double champion, and they lose it. Like it's just it'll be just a retread. Like you did it with Bayley and Sasha, then you did it with Charlotte and Asuka. You can't do it again with Sasha and Bellaire, and it doesn't make sense. It's too much.
Right. Mm-hmm. It is. But then, like it's like they gave NXT women's tag belts, and I'm hoping that those ones get used better than the ones on the main roster.
Not gonna lie, I'm gutted that they didn't give it to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez.
Right, I do think that was a missed opportunity, like a missed mark. They should have put the current belts just on NXT for a moment. Let the NXT brand like build those belts up until
Exactly.
It didn't make sense. And the whole thing, they're meant to be heels. When they announced that they were champions, it looked like they were trying to make them babyface, and then you had these bullish team come out of nowhere. Ember Moon and what's the other chick? Blackheart. Is it Blackheart?
Blackheart.
Yeah. And then they bullied themselves into a championship match, which obviously, and all of a sudden they win, but it kind of makes them look like they were the heels, and then Raquel and Dakota Kai was just the one that was getting screwed out. It was really backwards. If anything, the wrong team won. You should have let Ember Moon and Thingy win, let the heels come out, demand a match, then obviously let them win it, and then that will maintain the heat that Gonzalez and Dakota Kai have. But they did it really backwards. They did it really backwards with that. But I totally agree. There shouldn't be an NXT title match an NXT tag team titles, because the whole point of those women's tag team titles was for it to be represented across all three brands. And they just chose not to. So
so now it means that literally like whoever's the women's tag champs is only going to go between Raw and SmackDown, and then NXT have their own titles. So it's just never going to go down there. I wonder if they'll blend those titles for NXT UK as well, though. I wonder.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Because Vince don't care about NXT, so I think he's trying to obviously say it's meant to be across all three brands, but Vince doesn't want it to go to NXT, so he's just all right. Fuck it, we need tag team titles here. So so I blame that totally on Vince. I think that's Vince's call for some dumb reason.
Then again, to me, NXT UK don't even have a women's division. To me,
I mean, they kind of do and they kind of don't. It's one of those ones where it's kind of like how AEW are right now. Like they have a women's division with strong competitors. They just don't really have like a soul or like.
But it's getting better though in AEW. I must say, it is getting a bit better. Like I don't know if you saw last week's match with
I haven't watched it fully. I've seen the highlights. However, I can't rate an entire division around one match that didn't even.
Oh no. Before then, I mean, it's still obviously. I see what you mean. It hasn't got no soul, but it's definitely much better than the last time we spoke about it. Because before it was a freaking shambles. I totally agree. But yeah, this last tournament that they had to determine the next contender for the championship, and then obviously what they're doing now, it's getting a bit better. I must say. Excuse me.
They had like a whole show for the women, didn't they? Like an AEW Dark or Elevation, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And it was like all women's matches for whatever reason. I don't know what they were about or anything, but just
that must have been the title eliminator. I mean the tournament. I assume.
I think it was literally just past week. It was just like I think it was like Elevation. Is that the name of the show?
Oh right, yeah. That's the new one with Big Show in it and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was just a match card of just like 5 women's matches, and I'm like, okay, I guess that they're kind of taking into account what people are saying, but again, for me, I feel like that like the characters just need to be stronger, and everything needs to kind of be a bit more thought out where the women are concerned in AEW. But then, I mean, I digress. Like the whole woman was singing during the tag team match like the other week when I was watching it, so I was so confused by that. But
okay, fair enough. I hear that. But anyway, we're diverting. We're not supposed to be talking about AEW.
But yeah, so, we're going to be talking about this match, isn't it?
Yeah. But again, no one cares. It was just whatever.
Yeah, nothing eventful happened. It's like that they retained. It is what it is.
Yeah. Then the next match was for the Intercontinental Championship, and that was Big E versus Apollo Crews. Now, before we get into the match, how are you feeling about Apollo Crews' new gimmick that he's from?
Worried.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, to be honest.
Worried as hell.
With or without the accent? Because right now he just feels like he's literally come off the Coming to America set. And funny how that just came out. It feels like he just came from the set of Coming to America.
It's like, for me, it's I guess refreshing to a degree. However, I don't know if it was worth giving it to Apollo Crews, seeing as I've never known him to have an accent. So that means he's clearly putting it on.
Yeah,
but then
ask Rob Rides if is like, does it sound authentic enough? I've been meaning to ask him about that. Does it sound believable?
But then Apollo Crews is like, even when he does like social media vids or anything, he's never once spoken with an accent. So regardless if that's his heritage or if he was born there or anything like that, it's like if you're putting on your accent, I mean, it is what it is, whatever. But I think there was a particular night when it's like he came to the ring with like a spear and mercenaries, and I was like, ooh.
Come on.
Like we're treading into like uncharted waters here. WWE can either go extremely left or it's like, this
Look,
is the real.
I would totally understand that if he came down with like flipping holding a chicken's head and freaking have like freaking garlic around his neck and he had the witch doctor.
That would be worse. That would be worse, much worse. But it just, given the political climate right now, do we really want to see, especially with the whole NSARS movement and stuff, do we need to see a Nigerian person walk into the ring with mercenaries and a spear? It's just not great.
So far, no one's.
What about the Scream?
No one's triggered, so it can't be that bad. I don't think it's. I think
they're really so far, but I think no one's triggered because no one's watching wrestling right now. So, so they're getting away with it because no one's watching it. But when that how Black Twitter is. Once someone gets a hold of that video, it will become a thing, and then WWE will just never hear the end of it. And I await that. I'd be interested to see what the general consensus is for that.
Okay. What about you, Matt? What you're fine with it, yeah?
Yeah, I'm fine with it because I find it funny, to be honest. Because I actually want the Intercontinental title.
Not because like it's refreshing for Apollo, it's because it's freaking funny. I mean, yeah, I love it. I mean, it's refreshing for him. I was hoping I'm thankful that they finally turned him heel. I was hoping they would have done it and then he was going to go into the Hurt business. That would have been cool. I'm pretty sure that was rumors that was going to happen, and then he went to SmackDown, and that didn't happen. But I'm happy that they finally pulled the trigger. It doesn't look like it's, in a way, it's sort of refreshing take on that it's on a subject where they could easily go, what they usually do with like Muhammad Hassan and Davari, them kind of, they haven't gone like that, so it's still a bit tasteful. Because
they were going that way though, hence I was worried.
Yeah, you go that way, like we're all oppressed and all this kind of stuff. But he's talking about his heritage, and his background and stuff, and he hasn't said that, or he hasn't gone the nation of domination route. It's still a bit tasteful for now, so I'm happy for it.
I mean, at least it's not like Jinder Mahal talking about his race and stuff like that, quite blatantly. As well.
If it ain't like that, then I can hack it. So I mean, the brawl that they had on SmackDown, that was pretty cool. One thing that really baffled me though, I don't know if you saw it, when Big E went into the go-kart, he was obviously driving around, and then he found Apollo Crews and he tried to run him over and he crashed into a pole. And then they were brawling, but as soon as Apollo Crews escaped, the car was already facing the other way around and he drove off. Did anyone notice that?
I think I did, yeah.
No, I didn't notice it. And honest to God, I didn't watch SmackDown.
Who the hell moved the cart for him to go that way when Big E drove it that way? It was fucking weird. But anyway, yeah, it was
But did you notice as well that during the brawl, like Apollo's voice kept on switching?
Yeah, so he's already flopping.
Jesus! Oh, god damn it!
But I will say though, watching the build-up package for this match made me invested in the match. I just wish the match would have delivered.
Oh yeah, they fucked up, didn't they? There was a botch at the end. Yeah, so of course he retained the title, but isn't that the second time they fucked up the ending? Because wasn't there on SmackDown where there was a pin, but it didn't look like it was a pin, and then they went to commercial break, and then for some reason they restarted the whole match. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to that SmackDown, but
it was when, I think it was the first defense of the Intercontinental title, and then I think there was like a double pin or something, but it just looked so messy, and then they rushed to commercial, came back, and they had to restart the match. It was just, and then eventually it was clean. But Yeah, that was a really messy finish to that match. It looked like someone missed their spot to do something there.
I think it was like it was meant to be like a small package, and then Big E was meant to like do that thing where he spins back over, but then I guess as he went to spin back over, he kind of didn't, but the ref still counted. And it was like Big E's shoulders were still down, so he had to kind of like try to look like he bridged up, and it was like it was a weird finish, and I'm just there looking like, oh, what was that?
Yeah,
And then
entrance music took long to play, and then it was really odd.
yeah, it was an odd finish, and then Apollo Crews attacking Big E and trying to get like this, trying to stand up to, which I get that, like try to save or salvage or whatever you can from that, but you could see both of their faces, they looked irritated, like mad as hell at that finish.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh, like, well, whether they continue that feud or not going into WrestleMania, I don't know. But if they do, then they need to have a match that doesn't involve a pinfall finish. Like, just give them some kind of a cage or a ladder match or something. Just don't. Clearly, they can't have like special finishes.
I actually thought of a concept. Like, I don't know what you guys have been thinking about this, but have Apollo win the Intercontinental title, and then change it and make the colors into Nigerian colors, and then put it back on the Apollo.
I don't think that would sell though.
You know what I mean?
Now, I don't think that will sell. I mean, it'd be good on him, but I don't think it would sell. I mean, I like it, but yeah, for me, I want Big E to have a very lengthy title reign, because right now I don't see anyone that's good enough to take it away from him. I think he's the
Right.
I think he's the perfect guy to bring some relevancy to the title, because it's lost its relevancy since Shinsuke Nakamura had the title, in my opinion.
Yeah and no. I mean, Sami Zayn was relevant with it, just only because they let him have the mic, so therefore he's doing stuff with it. Same like whenever Miz is champion or any kind of champion, the championship has relevance because Miz has a mic.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But then it's like, with Big E having it, I think it's only because we're all very much aware that it's his time. It's just not his time right now. So for him to just lose it like randomly to someone, it wouldn't make sense. I think maybe if they do a thing where he can somehow hold on to it till like maybe later on this year, like
Big E as Intercontinental Champion for a majority of this year, I'll be happy with that. And then like a big destructive heel comes and take it from him, even if it's someone that gets brought up from NXT, I'll be happy with that.
Has a champion ever won the Royal Rumble?
As a champion, ever won the Rumble?
Like I can't think in my head that every single winner I know to have won or to win has never been a champion. They've always just been like the next person that's gonna go for the belt. But like, I wouldn't mind Big E getting that notch, like the first champion to win the Royal Rumble match.
Hold on, I'm gonna check right now.
That'd be good.
Champion.
So like, yeah, if he was like the first ever time the Intercontinental Champion has won the Royal Rumble, and then just have him lose the IC belt in like a multiple person match, so therefore he wasn't pinned. Like keep his momentum going.
I think the closest person was Dean Ambrose.
Huh?
The closest.
Yeah, I think so.
Was he champion that year?
Yeah, like when it's him and Triple H, final two, Dean was the Intercontinental Champion at the time.
Oh, he was? Oh, okay. But yeah, so if he's the closest one, but yeah, I can't think of the actual winner.
One person has actually entered the Rumble holding a championship and actually gone to win it, and that was Hogan.
Ugh. So basically no one's done it before. Yep, we understand that.
Hogan is the only person that's done that.
We don't rate. We rate.
It was most likely some kind or WWF champion or whatever, and went in and then kept his title.
That would be like a weird concept or anything like that. But hey, all right. So wait, how long was this IC match?
This match was 5 minutes 45 seconds. That is too short. So that's how you know.
Wow.
It did feel very short when I watched it. I do remember like thinking when it was the finish, I was mad confused.
Yeah.
But I think maybe like given the structure of the night, I'm almost certain that the main event was given all the time.
Oh yeah. I would say so. Oh wow. Okay, cool. We'll go to that a little bit. All right. So moving on. This match, an absolute snorefest. I'm so happy. I'm more than willing to skip through this. Braun Strowman defeated Elias. It was meant to be.
Yeah, go on.
Well, Shane McMahon suffered a knee injury. Sorry, he suffered a knee injury, which took him out. And then obviously Elias wanted to have this big WrestleMania moment. He's never performed at WrestleMania, even though he technically has two WrestleManias ago. But I digress. And he was hoping to do that. He was going to come to a compromise. And Shane said, "Okay, you want to have your point of WrestleMania? You're going to take over in this match." And then Braun Strowman came and killed him in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. What's your thought?
Well, Elias said that he hasn't won at Mania. Or he hasn't had a moment.
Yeah, he hasn't had his moment. Yeah, but even though he has twice actually.
Yeah, he had a moment with John Cena in the ring, and then last year didn't he beat? Is it Sheamus? No, Baron Corbin.
Yeah, but he hasn't performed he hasn't had like a WrestleMania performance. Yeah, but you're right. And also, he also performed at, was it WrestleMania? What was the one at Mercedes? At the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
That's the one that he was at. So 30.
Because it's
not gonna lie. I was literally about to say, I don't remember Baron Corbin versus Elias happening.
It was on the first night. It was some random match. It was literally like about I'm gonna say 5 minutes, something like that. Very uneventful.
The face. And remember, I think that's that was his comeback match after he basically Baron Corbin Mufasa'd him in the performance.
Yeah, threw him off of the top bit.
Yeah.
So I remember watching the backstage promo for this, but I wasn't watching Elimination Chamber live. I was watching Fastlane live, sorry. But what's it called? I watched it so when I started watching it would have been the time that the main event was on.
Okay, fair enough.
So so I basically was skipping forward and whatnot because I didn't want to watch the promo backstage. I cut to the ring and I guess it was Braun Strowman and Elias.
Yes.
And who is it that comes out with Elias? Is it Riker?
Jackson Riker, yeah.
And isn't he the one that was the pro-Trump?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So so I think I remember mentioning that, and then I was just kind of my little brother, that was it. My little brother was like, yeah, that's Jackson Riker. He's the Trump guy, and I was like, yeah. So I'm tuning out of this match. So I just fast forwarded. So I couldn't tell you what happened in this match. Anything to do with that? Who won? I don't know. I think I went on to the next match after this.
Yeah. Nothing happened. It was over, like I said, in under 4 minutes. Strowman just did his usual stick, running around.
Yeah, is this building to Braun versus Shane or something? I watched the Raw where he the on him.
Braun versus Shane at WrestleMania, just because Braun is stupid. I fucking hate this storyline. I absolutely hate it. It is absolutely awful. It doesn't benefit anyone. I feel sorry for Braun Strowman because he seems to be getting put in these dumb matches at WrestleMania. It doesn't benefit anyone. This is just simply, this is all Vince all over. Absolutely, just hate. This is all Vince. I'm going to tune out of this match when it happens. I hope it's on night 1, so we don't have to worry about it on night 2, so we can get it over and done with. And
there is a trend to get Sasha Banks and Bianca Belaire to main event the first night. It's a trending topic. I've seen it, and people there's a hashtag and whatnot, and so says main event Banks and Belaire.
The 2 main events in the men's is what? Drew versus Bobby Lashley. That has to be a main event, and Roman Reigns versus Edge. That has to be a main event. Most likely, Sasha and Bianca is gonna be the co-main. Most likely.
But the thing about but this is my thing. I am so worried about Lashley versus McIntyre because I really could care less that McIntyre needs to get a Mania moment in front of fans.
I think I'm gonna go on.
As far as I'm concerned, he had his moment last year, regardless if there was fans or not. He had the WrestleMania moment. I think it's worth leaving it to Bobby Lashley, but I can honestly see them trying to put Drew McIntyre over at WrestleMania, and that would really irritate me if that is the case. But
me personally, sorry, whilst we just quickly go on to this, I personally think they put too much effort into building up Lashley, with the intro, this thing with the Hurt Business, all this kind of stuff, for it to just go to McIntyre back to, like, you're right, McIntyre's already had his Mania moment. Sure, it was in front of nobody, but he's had decent enough reigns out of this whole thing. And even though there's no crowd to acknowledge or to bounce off of if they like him or not, everyone that is still watching wrestling, the small percentage, they haven't said anything bad about him. And so he doesn't need to have his Mania moment. His Mania moment is being in the main event of Mania. That's more than enough. And he's getting
right. Like the 2 years in a row, you've had 2 main events. That's fine for me.
Yeah, that's fine for me. Like, it doesn't mean you have to win. I'm totally in favor, and I think that Lashley is going to retain. There's no reason for
I hope he does.
A 3-time champion
in a
short space of time as well. So, yeah, that's
my. Because literally, like, if Bobby Lashley is retaining, I want it to be the main event. If Bobby Lashley isn't, then literally just take up the card.
But then I'm just wondering, because there has to be a Mania with that. Someone that won the Rumble has to win a title at Mania.
But then that's Edge, and then I don't think Edge is going to beat Roman Reigns. It doesn't make sense to me.
So I think Bellaire is going to win the title. I think she's going to win. She's going to win against Sasha. That has to happen. Roman Reigns is going to retain. It's going to be, so basically what I'm saying is, if the two men's titles are going to be the main events, that's 2 defenses. Can we see that happening?
Oh, it's in 2 retains, you mean?
2 retains, yeah. Because last year, both championships changed hands last year. Are we going to retains? Is that good for business?
I mean, how many years? Because I'm trying to think, like, well,
because when it comes to the men's title, when it was just the men's Rumble, or when it was just there was no women's title like in the main event picture, there's usually always like the one on SmackDown retains and the one on Raw that changes hands, or vice versa. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if there's 2 main, is it going to be 2 retains? Are we going to be cool with that?
Well, I mean, I don't want Edge to win, so I could care less. And I don't necessarily need. I don't want to see Drew win, so I'm quite happy with 2 retains.
Okay.
Personally, like, I'm trying to think of a WrestleMania where both titles have been there and both champions have held on to it.
I don't think there has been.
WrestleMania 27.
27. Which one's that? Miz and Edge. Oh yeah, Miz didn't lose.
And Edge beat Alberto Del Rio.
Okay.
Yeah, Edge actually beat Del Rio clean as well in that year, if I recall.
Fair enough. All right, so there's a big gap since then. I mean, that's almost 10 WrestleManias since then.
Right.
Yeah, it can happen again. That's a decent amount of time. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Nah.
But I do have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, would you say that the way Drew's been pushed is the same way how Roman a few years ago was? Like, being like, basically, if Drew was to win the title again, he would be basically a 3-time champion in the space of the similar time Roman was, like, a 3-time WWE champion.
I think, in a way, I mean, but at the same time, I think the reason why it stunk with Rome is it stunk with when it was Roman is because everyone knew from the outset that was the plan, and it was the writing was on the wall. But with Drew McIntyre, because he has this actual story of, like, he was there before he got fired, he built himself up, and he came back and redeemed himself. It's a bit more palatable. Obviously, I think people will be pissed if he does become a 3-time champion in a short space of time, but they won't be as pissed as they were with Roman, because Roman was meant to be the next John Cena, put smiles on kids' faces and do Make-A-Wish and all this kind of bullshit. Drew doesn't do that. He's more of like, a man's man type of thing. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it'd be a bit more palatable. People will still be pissed, but not as pissed with Roman, I think. So yeah, it's not entirely the Roman Reigns treatment, because I don't think I don't think they put all their chips into Drew like they did with Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But also, Roman Reigns just came at a time when we kind of came off of him, because if they would have pushed Roman the year that we didn't want Batista to win, then Roman, I think, would have been more successful.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because he was white hot back then. Yeah, I remember when he came out of the Rumble, and
everyone was here for it. And then it's like the writing on the wall for us was that we knew they were going to go with Batista, but we did not want that. So therefore, Roman Reigns literally was like the roof was blowing off for Roman Reigns, and then Batista won, and then it's like now by the next year we're kind of like over Roman Reigns by this point, but yet now you want to try and push him, and it's like no, we don't, we didn't, we wanted this last year, we don't want this year. You know what I mean? It's like
during that time to go having that Cena run where like it was Roman Reigns wins low. They was just winning everything, and it was just really tell they were giving him the Cena treatment, and they just didn't see that. They thought that we was just gonna just run with it, but that wasn't the case. So yeah, right. They didn't quite do that with Drew, because when Drew came back, he came out with Dolph Ziggler. Then he was pretty much in the mid card. He had a mediocre match. Funny enough, imagine like was it 2 WrestleManias ago? He actually faced Roman Reigns at Mania, and it was shit.
Yeah.
And then
I don't remember much from that match, but that match he was just there to boost Roman Reigns.
He just came back from his cancer, but now you had that match between them at Survivor Series. Everyone fucking loved it because it was right. The heel in the face was perfect. It was just you see the difference. So it's just more palatable than Roman.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going on a tangent as always on this show. The last match was of course Braun Strowman versus Elias. Pass. Next match, which I thought was one of the highlights, was Seth Rollins against Shinsuke Nakamura. Now this match came out of nowhere because
like what was it meant to be? Like was it just because of something that happened on SmackDown, or was it genuinely planned that this match was going to happen?
Yeah. So obviously the main storyline is between Seth Rollins and Cesaro. But then obviously, I think Seth was attacking Cesaro, and obviously Shinsuke came out to save his friend. They had a match, they had a little brawl, and then they decided to have this match on this pay-per-view. So even though Cesaro was nowhere to be seen on this, but
he was just mentioned, but he didn't even make an appearance or make a save or anything.
Yeah, nothing like that. But it was a great match.
How long was it?
This match was 12 minutes 55 seconds, so it was quite lengthy. Feel that long. One thing that really pissed me off is that I'm sorry, but I hate Matt Riddle. I don't know if you saw.
I'm not a fan of Matt Riddle. I think like he was a thing in NXT. He was like a moment. Then you had to be there.
Yeah, he didn't.
But
he was. Yeah. This new one, I just feel like they're trying to make him like the B Tech RVD, but just more dumber. I don't know. I just hate it. It's cringe what they're doing with him. And he deserves more. He's actually he's great in the ring. But yeah, it's just really just goofy and just dumb. But yeah.
What are you referring to that segment with him and Shinsuke?
Yeah.
Before the match.
I got an awesome idea, dude. And then my friend, he did a 180, and then he did it at a 180 great angle, but he did it at a 360 angle. He fucked up his knees, bro. And then where you go, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, nah, absolutely dumb. But yeah, moving swiftly on. The match itself was quite good.
It was a solid match. It wasn't pay-per-view worthy, but it was a solid match. Yeah, I like this little hook. I like the little hook kick that's he did. He got his leg caught in Shinsuke, and then he did a backwards kick, and I was like, oh, sweet.
2K20, because that's the move in 2K20. So
oh, is it?
Signatures. So I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Matt? What do you enjoy it?
I mean, yeah, I agree with Ryan's. Basically, yeah, it was a solid match. Right when I'd say, but
TV match.
Say again?
Say that again.
The TV match. Yeah, like it's not, like you said, like Ryan said, it's not pay-per-view worthy. It was something you see on SmackDown.
Yeah,
but it just makes me wonder, like the direction that they're going to take Cesaro's, Seth Rollins, and Shinsuke, because not really that clear. Because I know it's obviously leading to Cesaro versus Seth Mania.
I don't think this involves Shinsuke. This is mainly between Seth and Cesaro, and I really didn't realize, but Cesaro has never had a singles match at Mania. This could be his first ever Mania match with someone as good as Seth Rollins, which is baffling to me. But yeah, this was.
It only makes sense for him to win at Mania. Then I think he deserves it. In honesty.
Yeah. This is definitely to because it's not gonna hurt Seth. Seth is already made. He's fine. You know, he's not doing anything major, so it's not gonna hurt him. So yes, it's
a drip thing.
If they're throwing the cash at him like after he's been threatening to leave and whatnot. So yeah, definitely well deserved. I think, and when he does win, I would say put him in the title picture next. I think he'd be a worthy, like, don't make him win it. He doesn't have to win it, but he'll be a worthy contender against Roman Reigns, in my opinion.
Worthy, yes. Definitely worthy. More worthy than what Daniel Bryan was, in my opinion.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
But we'll get there.
Don't you dare cuss DB. But yeah. That was a good match. Moving swiftly on, it was the no holds barred match between Drew McIntyre against Sheamus in a 19 minutes and 40-second match. Now this match was brutal as hell. They love
19.
Yeah, 19 minutes. Yeah. These guys love beating the crap out of each other. It's crazy. This pay-per-view was the same amount of runtime as Monday Night Raw. It was like 2 hours 44 minutes.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was really short. Like I remember like finishing the pay-per-view and it's like, oh wow, like, am I finished already?
Yeah, it was the same run. But yeah, this match it was cool. Yeah, they just beat the shit out of each other as always. Quite brutal. Some pretty cool spots. Your thoughts on it?
I like when they were throwing. I like when they Drew McIntyre like throw Sheamus through the screens. Yes. I did wonder if that wasn't meant to happen. Like maybe the screens were to hold him because even Sheamus was like he didn't like know how to land. He kind of went to touch the screens, then kind of just fell with the screens. And it was like, oh, maybe that wasn't meant to happen. And even when they moved away from there and the camera's at the wide angle, so you can see everything. You see the tech crew quickly go back because they have to fix that area now. So yeah, I think maybe that wasn't supposed to happen, but wow. The match was alright. But it's like.
I was actually wondering, for the people who was on that screen, I wonder if it cut off the Thunderdome thing for them.
I don't think it did, but I was making the joke and I was like, oh, I was on that screen. Like you just screwed my TV. I was there. Well, speaking of which, the Thunderdome, do you have to pay for that?
No.
It's first come, first serve.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like I was like, I'm pretty sure like they SDK can't charge you to use your internet to be on TV.
No. First come, first serve. Even though they have admitted that some of those screens are pre-taped.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think it is pre-taped because I remember one time I got a SmackDown one, and I tried clicking it on the time when it was about to air on TV, and it was saying like your thing's expired.
So you would have just been filming yourself for like an hour, just sitting there not watching anything.
I think so.
That's so random. So it tell you, okay, then so your time is to turn on your screen at like, I don't know, let's say for UK people, it's like, oh, turn on your camera for like 7 o'clock in our time and just sit there for 2 hours, just like randomly doing things like this or like.
Yeah, because I think they instruct you to do stuff like to obviously, so you can't cheer or boo people. And if you do the total opposite, I think they can boot you and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, they're really strict on that. It's fucking weird. That's why I didn't really bother to even try to attempt it. But,
I mean, I kind of feel like it's kind of one of those things where, again, you had to be there. So I feel like in this time right now, like with all of these like crowded events or things on TV with crowds instead of just having the virtual screens, I kind of think you kind of owe it to ourselves to do it at least once.
Maybe.
Well, because technically, if wrestling was still a thing, if like crowd events and stuff like that was still a thing, then you would have gone to the tapings this year, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so you kind of owe it to yourselves for not going to the tapings because of COVID, maybe to do a Thunderdome. I was considering doing it like one of these weeks before WrestleMania, but again, I was not entirely sure if it's just a thing for the US viewers as opposed to like UK people.
No, I think
I think at the start it was, but then they opened up to everybody else.
It comes on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure on Instagram they can filter, like WWE can filter like what regions can see their tweets.
maybe,
They must be able to, like, and if we're gonna post something about the Thunderdome and UK people and people around the world can see that, so it would mean that it's not just limited to US. But yeah, I digress. As for this match, speaking of this match and stuff like that, I mean, it did what it had to do. It was violent. It was all right. Do I really care for it? Not really. It's Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, so yeah, I know they're gonna hit each other harder because they're friends, and so from that standpoint, I knew we were gonna get a good match. Ending was kind of just typical. It's funny when you see them all like struggling not to tap their thighs. It's funny, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just it was one of those matches that was just 90 minutes of stuff that I knew that was gonna happen. It wasn't really like groundbreaking or amazing, but it wasn't bad. So,
well, then again, have any of you watched Raw?
Oh yeah, they didn't give a fuck. It was Slap City. It was.
Yeah.
I've only watched what I've seen on Instagram, and it hasn't been that much. Like, I haven't really been on my phone today.
Yeah, trust me.
Because I was thinking like the Claymore to Cedric Alexander. Woo! You can clearly see, like, he slapped the fight.
Yeah. I think if anything, they might have changed the rule. Obviously, look, they've been doing it for years. It's a forced habit. But if anything, they can easily just mold the rules, saying, "All right, just do it subtle. Just don't make it obvious." Because there's so many times where I see it where they proper like see the fly slap. But people like freaking, there's so many people that actually do it, and you don't see them do this, like the thigh slap. Like freaking Shawn Michaels, I rarely ever see him do a thigh slap, but he does it. He
slaps his other thigh. That's why he doesn't slap the side. Yeah, he doesn't slap the side that he kicks with. He slaps the thigh that's on the floor. So it's like a disguise. Your eye goes to that thigh. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's ways to do it. So if you do it quick and subtle, then yeah, there's nothing like you could easily do that with a super kick. So I think if anything, instead of banning it because it does sound dead when they don't do it, because there's been times I think there was one point where Drew McIntyre did it, he didn't slap his thigh, and nothing came out of it. It just looked dead. So if they can disguise it, yeah, I think let's just change the rule on that. But yeah, that was a hard hitting match. That was pretty good. The co-main was the co-main event was pretty much the best match on here. Alexa Bliss against Randy Orton.
Boom.
Now this was something. So yeah, let's break this down, shall we? So yeah, Randy Orton came out.
Why is they're laughing away? This one. I mean, mind you, I get it. Like, he sounded mad sarcastic just then, but I mean,
so Randy comes out, then Alexa Bliss comes out, and then they start taunting each other, and then for some reason Randy Orton was about to charge at Alexa Bliss. So all of a sudden, I think Kane was there somehow because the big freaking pyro came up. He got scared shitless. And then they went outside and started running around and chasing each other, and then all of a sudden, some of the props came down, almost killed Randy Orton.
Yeah, he dropped the ring lights.
The ring lights. And then Randy Orton stupidly said, "Are you trying to kill me?" Like, duh. Like, why would that come down? Like, okay, whatever. And then they went into the ring again. All of a sudden, she started doing the freaking like she's playing Skyrim, and she started doing some fire magic out of her hand.
Yeah, she did the fireball, didn't it?
Yeah. This time, Randy Orton didn't get cinched. And he was about to start charging at her, and all of a sudden you just hear. At first, I thought someone farted because it just didn't sound right. The rip didn't sound right properly. It was really weird. And then you eventually see this mucus-filled hand, and it looked like he was about to try and fist Randy Orton's ass. It was fucking weird. And then grabbed his leg, and then fire comes out of it for some reason. And then you basically see a half Ewok, half fucking Yeti come out of the freaking like a charred Ewok come out
covered in seaweed.
And it still happens to be the Fiend. In the
it meant to look charred, wasn't he? It meant to look melted.
In the worst ever. It was just they are slowly killing the Fiend right now. Like I know a lot of people are kind of over it now because it's the hokiness era is done now, but now they're slowly destroying this character, and I'm starting to be kind of getting over this whole Fiend and Alexa Bliss thing. And yeah, Fiend did assist to Abigail to Randy Orton, and Alexa Bliss pins him 1, 2, 3, and yeah, that's the end of that match. What's your thoughts on that?
and then because I've noticed that people have been talking about the way the pin was done.
Yeah, she like sat on him, and she's not supposed to be that sexual. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was definitely an interesting choice. Alexa Bliss came out to her regular music as opposed to her themed music, which was again an interesting choice. Yeah, it was just kind of like matches where like little bits and pieces cosmetically didn't really make sense. But as for the delivery of the match, I didn't expect anything different. I didn't think I was gonna get an actual like 5-5 Funhouse match. I didn't think I was gonna get a cinematic match. I didn't think I was going to get a wrestling match. I thought it was just going to be all gimmicks, essentially to build up the Fiend's return, which is what it did. So I think the match itself, like, yeah, the whole thing would have been like 6 to 7 minutes of just like walking around the ring and doing nothing, and then one pinfall. So I mean, yeah, you call it a big main, but nothing really happened.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, yeah, I said my views about it. What about you, Matt? What's your thoughts of not Braun Strowman, the Fiend versus Alexa Bliss versus
Randy Orton?
That was actually a good thing that both of you mentioned that, because literally I completely forgot we were talking about that.
Shut up.
Yeah. Don't know what to say about that, to be honest.
Well, when you watched the match, did you like it? Did you not like it?
Yeah, I'm just glad that the Fiend is back. Yeah.
So you had nothing to say about that match. Okay, then so you might as well go on to the next.
It's whatever.
Wait, how long was that? Was that deemed the match? Actually,
the match was 4 minutes 45 seconds. That was actually longer than Braun Strowman versus Elias.
And that's 4 minutes. So basically, when Alexa Bliss got in the ring, the bell actually rang. So it's 4 minutes from then.
Yeah.
Wow. So that seemed that match was going on forever. It was only 4 minutes. Interesting. Sorry, segment, I should say. But yeah, so we digress. So I believe next is the main event.
Co-main event. So the main event was, of course, Roman Reigns against Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship, where Edge was the special guest enforcer. So yeah, the obviously the how did this match go? So obviously, yeah, Edge was the special guest enforcer. Quite back and forth match, as you would expect from a Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan match. The more obviously the best parts that really happened was really when Daniel Bryan was going to go for the running knee, and it was classic ref bump, completely cleans the ref's clock, and and then obviously Edge was had to be the interim referee. Obviously Roman Reigns was complaining about the slow 2 count. What happened there was
Edge counted, and then what's it called? Jey Uso interfered. He went to grab the chair, and then Daniel Bryan hit Edge with the chair.
Yes.
So then I think Edge beat both of them with the chair, and then he walked out, and then Roman Reigns got the pin.
Yeah, basically.
I will point out that whilst in the S-Lock, I believe Roman Reigns appeared to tap out, and I was very irritated by that.
Yes, it was
very irritated by that.
Because when it comes to them kind of things, when the ref is down, you see them fucking just tapping the shit out of it. Where you saw a little slight tap on that.
I would have been more here for, instead of making him tap, they should have made him fade and then made Daniel Bryan pin him, and obviously there's no ref.
Yeah.
And whatnot, because the fact that Roman Reigns has tapped out, I think that hurt him more.
That's what I'm saying. Because they would never do that with Cena. I know that for a fact. Because they would never do that with Cena, and they basically played him as the next Cena. Why do it to Roman Reigns? I agree. I was really surprised. If anything, if we're gonna do something like that, I would save that for Mania. Of some kind. He wouldn't lose via tap out, but that's a big moment for it to be wasted at Fastlane. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was irritated. It does kind of hurt him a bit. It doesn't really show him as the fearful tribal chief that they tend to be. And wait a minute. Hold on a minute.
What happened?
Oh, look who it is.
Here comes a new challenger. Big man in here. Oh my goodness.
He's here.
What up? That's why I gate crashed the party.
Yeah, you game crashed through about the video though. Oh my god.
Oh, it's not recording.
No, it just says rides on the screen. Like, come on, bro.
He's here via satellite.
Right. Oh my god.
Oh, you mean you can't see me? My bad. Here you
go.
Now there he is. They have some
He's here. And he's here just in time for the main event, so you get to weigh in, bro.
The main event of what? Fastlane?
Yeah. We were just talking about it right now. What you want now?
Okay. I'm on Drew versus Sheamus. That's what I'm on right now.
My god.
Don't worry, I just came through to say, hey, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. But yeah, so far so good, man.
What's
so far so good?
What you mean, the pay-per-view or that match?
The pay-per-view up until like I'm halfway through Drew and Sheamus, and so far it's been cool. I admittedly didn't watch the opening match with the women's tag team title. I skipped that one. Biggie and Apollo, I was really looking forward to that. I think Rhymes was right.
Was I silent or was I silenced?
I'm not answering. Or was that a botch? Was that a botch?
I think that was definitely a botch. I think that was.
I thought it was a botch, but Apollo was too smooth afterwards. Like it was like what he did afterwards was almost planned. So I don't know.
I think that was just professionalism, because everything was out of sync. Like even though he pinned him, there was an awkward silence. The music didn't play immediately. The ref wasn't
it his song that played?
No, it's Big E's.
Big E's.
Yeah. But it was way too late. And then I think he just called an audible and just tried to make up for it. But like I said to these guys, it was a similar situation. I don't know if you saw this episode. It was I think a pay-per-view or on SmackDown, where a similar situation where it was Big E and Apollo Crews, where there was this abrupt pin, and then they started like arguing, and then it rushed to commercial break, and then it came back, and then they restarted the match, and then did it again, and then Big E won.
Oh, wow.
So it was something about them too. When it comes to pinning, it just doesn't work. So
well, they always get the refs to act like it's real. So if you're supposed to kick out and you don't, they're gonna count 3. Same with count outs as well, just to make it look real, I suppose. But then there's a catch-22 with it if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was up until that point. It was good. I mean, Seth and Shinsuke was perfect. I suppose Seth needed the win, didn't he? But yeah, so far so good. So
okay,
that's it. But yeah, let me let you guys get back to it. I just wanted to show my face.
Hey, that's all right.
Thank you for coming through, bro. We miss you here.
That's all right. Where's Matt, man? Matt just sitting there. Where you at?
Right. Before you go, what do you think of Apollo's accent?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Nah, I'm going now. I'm leaving. That you know what? I thought Kofi's Jamaican accent was bad. That's worse. That's worse.
So it's inauthentic, yeah.
Of course it is. Like it's and is he switching between the two or what? What's he doing?
Oh my god! See?
Oh yes. It's like a switch, on and off switch.
Nah, it needs to stop.
Even like I think Matt said during the brawl that they had last week on SmackDown, whilst Apollo was getting beat on, he was literally switching between accents while he was getting beat on.
Yeah.
Right.
I just know when he did his entrance at Fastlane, the thing he was carrying just before Big E came out, he went to the ropes to give it to one of the staff or whatever, and he was like, "Guard it with your life." Like, wow, he's really living the gimmick, boy.
You say that, but then they go and mess up the ending, and then the accent comes out, and Big E's like frustrated on the floor, like,
Yeah, Biggie was vexed. Biggie was just staring at
his face was just like so straight and just so kind of like no expression, like he's gonna take the beating and just like.
Yep. But guys, I won't take up any more of your time. Pick up everybody. Enjoy the rest of your time, guys.
No worries, bro. Take care. Peace.
Right, see you soon,
man.
Let's.
Oh man.
Oh. Hey.
That was a nice special appearance from Rides. He'll be back soon. Don't worry, he's still part of the Ticket to the Table crew. But yes, as we go back to the Roman Reigns match, where did we leave off? Someone was talking about that.
We were talking about the pin. The what's it called? Him tapping out and saving it for like a bit.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think it was the right time to do that. It does definitely does hurt Roman Reigns a bit. It would have been more hurtful if he completely like did the typical thing that heels do when the ref is down, where he's just completely frailing and tapping out. It was subtle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. They would have never done that with Cena. I don't know why they took that chance with Roman Reigns. Edge seems to have pretty much turned heel now.
I think he's just kind of. I think it was just meant to be one of those like it was neither heel nor face, because I guess he was hit by Daniel Bryan. Yeah. And then he's got a vendetta against Roman Reigns. So it's just he's going to hit both of them. It was just more of he's just raging in that moment. I do think maybe the tap out from Reigns, even though I feel like it hurts him, it was more to show that he is not unbeatable if they're trying to compare Edge to Daniel Bryan. Get it?
Yeah.
So trying to show that if Daniel Bryan has had the chance to, then I guess Edge has a chance to, but against that whole 50-50 booking thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really hope Edge doesn't win. Like, I don't care if it's meant to be Edge's redemption year or anything like that. It's just, please like just keep Roman Reigns in the top seat and then let Big E dethrone him next year.
Yeah, 110.
I mean, not gonna lie, I do think it's gonna be a triple threat at Mania now. Because I'm thinking
it could be. I wouldn't be upset about that. But then the only thing is that if there is a triple threat, that then means, actually, do you know what? Let it be a triple threat, because then Edge can win without Roman Reigns being pinned.
Yeah, that too. But
so therefore, the Edge can pin or submit Daniel Bryan or whatever he's going to do, and then at whatever the next pay-per-view will be, let Roman Reigns win Money in the Bank or cash in or just beat Edge for the belt again or whatever. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And then let Big E dethrone Roman Reigns next year.
Yeah. Then again, I'm totally fine with Roman Reigns retaining. Edge, like I agree, Edge does not need a title. But yeah, if that was the case, then yeah, make it triple threat, which they're most likely going to do. Give Daniel Bryan his possible last WrestleMania, because there's rumors of him retiring at the end of this, or going up more of a part-time schedule after this year.
Right. And then it also takes a load off of Edge, so he hasn't got to carry like a whole match or go through a whole match. There's a lot of time to you can let Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Exactly. I totally agree. But yeah, overall, I'm just gonna go over the ratings on this whole pay-per-view. So yeah, I would just give this pay-per-view an average 6. Very average. Nothing was.
Yeah, I would say 6.
Yeah.
Same man, to be honest. Not gonna lie.
Like I can't even kind of give it like there was a redeeming quality, or there wasn't anything on the card that was like, I don't know, that was like extremely bad.
No.
There's things that we didn't care for, like the Strowman match or the just a Strowman match in this case. Things you don't really care for, but it wasn't bad. It's just it had no meaning. So yeah, I would give the pay-per-view overall a 6. Like,
110%. So yeah, so the Take It to the Table overall review of this pay-per-view is 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it on Fastlane. Now